Hi guys, I'm Mark.
I'm Penny.
And we're the Oyster Boys, and today we are back doing a video. I kind of envisioned it as like a yeast versus yeast video.
Okay.
So I'd come up with a recipe for a really big, really hoppy, probably like a double IPA or the double New England. The boss of all Neepers was the plan. Yeah. Whether it's turned out like that, I'm not quite sure, because there's some things that I wanted to do in it and I don't know how they've worked out, and I've not really tried it since we put it in the keg. So this is a big beer. It's like 7.5%.
Yeah.
So it's not a driving beer. It's a big boy beer. The recipe is made up of mainly lager malt. And
it's that big, you've had to bring your laptop along.
Well, yeah, I can't remember everything that's in it. So I'll run down the recipe for like 20 litres, yeah? So it's 2.5 kilos of lager malt, 1.2 kilos of low colour golden promise, 1.2 kilos of Maris Otter, 900 grams of pale wheat malt, 250 grams of Carapils, and 900 grams of Jumbo Oat Flakes, and then some Oat Husks in there as well, because I hate getting a stuck sparge. And then for the hop additions, I've got 100 grams of Cascade, which I used as a mash hop addition, which I've never done before, so I don't know how it's worked out. And that was to create more freely available thiols in the beer, which is to do with one of the yeasts that we've used. So I've done 100 gram mash hop of Cascade, and then I've done Mosaic, Galaxy, and Idaho 7 as whirlpool and dry hop additions. But I'll put a full breakdown and a link to the recipe in the description down below. And then once I'd made the beer, I split it in two, and I mashed it at 67 degrees for 60 minutes with Cascade in the mash, whole leaf, so it didn't just go everywhere in the mash. And then 75 degrees for 10 minutes as a mash out, and then boiled it up. And when I put it into the fermenters, I split it into two, and I did one half with the Lallemand or Lallbrew Verdant IPA yeast, which I've used before and I love. It's a really good yeast. And then the other half I did with the WHC Hop Unlock, which is a thiol releasing yeast. Let's hope it works better than the other powder that we tried it. The Phantasm. I like the Phantasm. I think the Phantasm is good, but we just use it for the wrong application. So anyway, check that video out up there. And also another video that I've just watched that just came out yesterday, so that'll show people how behind with editing we are. Came out yesterday from the Malt Miller. They did a video about Phantasm and thiol releasing yeasts and products, which you can watch as a link up there for that one as well. So I'm going to go now. In fact, we'll both go because we've got 4 glasses to go, right? We'll get these in the glasses and we'll be back. Right, we're back. Okay, so we've got 2 beers here that are exactly the same apart from the yeast that have gone into it. So the ones here on our left are the WHC Hop Unlock, which is the thiolizing yeast. And this one is the Verdant IPA yeast, or the Verdant yeast from Lallemand. They are clearly 2 different looking beers, aren't they?
It's obviously a bit more,
I mean, you say clarity. It does actually,
slightly more of a golden colour. This is slightly lighter in the colour. Head seems to be a bit retaining on this one.
Yeah, I think the head's better on this one. I mean, neither of them look bad, do they? They both look like good beers. I mean, you can tell, can't you? This one on the left, like that looks like a big beer. Even before you drink it, it looks thick. It looks really solid. And I think we can sort of like rate them if you want. I don't know how we'd do it. I think that if I'd gone somewhere and said I want a big hazy double pale, I think this one is probably the one that I'd lean towards.
So is it a double that you were going for?
Well, it's 7.5%, mate. So there's a lot of grain in there. Everything. I think this one looks better.
Well, should we just mark this one then?
Yeah. So I'll mark this one. I'd give that a 7.5. I'd give that probably a 7.9, and this one I give a 7.
So we are doing both.
Well, I mean, well, I'll just give this a 7.9. That's what I'm giving. I'm going to give this a 7.9.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give it a 7.5.
Okay.
So Sam, a little bit worried about that colour.
When we smell them, let's smell this one first. Because this one should be wild compared to this one. So this is the Verdant IPA yeast.
I mean, it smells great.
It does smell great, doesn't it?
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet fruit salad. Stone fruits.
It smells strong as well, doesn't it? You can tell already.
Delicious. That's a really nice. It's smooth, very smooth.
They're going to love it at the homebrew club tonight, aren't they? It's like it's lifted. It's
yeah,
like
I was going to say.
It doesn't really smell as sweet, but you can pick out I think you can pick out the smells.
Fresher.
Yeah, it's much fresher. And it doesn't smell alcoholic, whereas this one smells.
Yeah.
Like you can smell booze in this one, and with this one, you can.
I wouldn't smell. Yeah, someone close my eyes and say what strength would it be.
It's
I wouldn't know.
like it's super tropical.
They're both good smelling beers, and they're in their own way. I can't pick which is. I can't say that's a better or that's better smelling.
But for the same
they
beer,
both smell great.
For the same beer though, it's I think it's definitely. Yes, this one's way more tropical, and doesn't smell alcoholic. Whereas this one smells sweet and boozy. But I think I'd give this an 8.
Is that all? Really?
Oh, 0.5.
Yeah, I was going to say. I would give it a 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's a really good smell of beer.
They've been being a bit harsh.
I think you are.
Maybe I am. I'm not going to change it though.
Okay.
It's my own beer. I'm not going to make my own beer the best
fine.
of it.
I think it's really good smelling beer.
Okay, let's try them.
Okay, which one are we trying first?
I'll try this one again.
Yeah,
first,
okay. Right.
Cheers. Because I've had this yeast and used it loads of times before, so I'm kind of thinking what's the difference between a £4, £5 pack of yeast and a probably I think this one's about £10 or £11 I think. This one.
There's a big beer.
I think this one, everything comes through in the aroma more than the flavour. I think it smells better. It smells better than it tastes. I think
it's a big beer.
That's a strong.
I can tell it's 7.5%.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it tastes bad, but I think that everything's really punching in the aroma.
Yeah. Do you know what I think that's lacking? A little bit of like the silkiness on the tongue that you sort of get with the Nipas and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think that it's not bitter.
It doesn't coat the tongue as well though.
But it doesn't coat the tongue. And one thing I would say is, when I talked about making this beer, I talked about it at the local homebrew club, and I'd said that I was going to do mash hopping, and a few people in there were like, oh, well, the beer will end up being really bitter if you put hops in the mash because they'll get boiled. And I summarised, and I said, no. From what I've read, you won't get much perceived bitterness because the actual hop material is going to be taken out.
Of course,
when you take the mash in your mash tun out or your grain basket out, and then you won't really find it.
Because you won't extract the
high alpha acids. I don't think that's bitter at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, you wouldn't extract the high alpha acids.
I mean, I think it's strong, but I don't think it's bitter. But I'm going to try this one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Now it's definitely silkier,
that one's got the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
That one's got the mouthfeel that you'd want from it. I think the flavour's smoother in it as well.
Yeah. The silkiness and the flavour smoother sort of go together.
And
whether
when I made this beer, this has been sat in the kegs for a little while now, because when I first made it, I was reading the instructions on the yeast, and I'd read that it would be better to dry hop at high krausen than it would be to wait until the ferment's finished and then hop at the end. So I did that, but then the problem I came up against was that it didn't finish fermenting quickly. And I wasn't able to keep the hop contact time down because the fermenter that I'm using is
pressure fermenting it.
I didn't pressure ferment it, but I fermented it in the Firmzilla all-rounder. And you haven't got a collection jar on the bottom of that. So once your hops are in it, they're in it.
Yeah.
So I had a much longer hop contact time than I thought I would. And I gave it a quick taste after it had been in the keg for a week or so, and I had really bad hop burn in the beer. Like, you'd drink it, and it was almost like it was a really bitter beer because there was that much hop at the back of your mouth when you were drinking it. That's gone. There's none of that. And I think out of these two beers, I definitely prefer this one. I mean,
it's more of an. I think maybe the harshness is nullified a bit. It's a bit more silky that also lifts more of a smooth, and it's probably slightly sweeter notes from the aroma. I find a little less bitterness as well.
I mean, they're both good. They are both good. I think that the Verdant yeast is a yeast I will definitely use and always I kind of.
So what's
always
the price
have it in.
difference between the yeasts?
Right. So price-wise,
Yeah.
the Verdant yeast is £4,
Okay.
£3.95, and the WHC Hop Unlock is $7.99.
Yeah,
right
definitely
now.
worth it then.
So this yeast is double the price of this yeast. However, when you're already paying 80 quid
Yeah.
for your recipe,
Yeah.
what's 4 quid?
Yeah.
As a percentage, it's marginal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you're not going to be.
5%.
Yeah, it's not huge. So
Should we pull it back? We've not done the scores for the flavour yet.
oh, I mean,
Sorry.
one second. Hang on. It's definitely a strong beer. This you can tell. Really, you can tell.
Yeah. I'm going to give it an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 as well. I've had
it stronger than 7.5%.
I've had other big hoppy double whatevers.
Yeah.
With much more balanced flavour profiles than this, but it still tastes fantastic.
It's had recipe as well.
First attempt making the recipe.
You don't just make it and go, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Although I do know one beer company that claims to do that, but yeah.
Price wise, so it was I think the kit all in thrown together was 88 quid. So, and that's if you were going to use the Verdant yeast. So I'm going to say it's probably going to be 90 something pound if you were going to use the WHC Hop Unlock. WHC Hop Unlock. And that works out
more expensive than Sharks Need Water.
Yes, it is. It works out to £2.37 a pint. It's a very expensive beer. Very expensive. But the thing is, it's a lot stronger than...
you would pay a lot of money for that, wouldn't you?
It's a lot stronger than Sharks. Might be 7.9 rather than 7.5. Somewhere, anyway, it's a strong beer. And I think it represents good value to be able to have this for that much. But would I rather have this? Well, that's not the question. But what I would say is I would rather have Sharks than have this.
Yeah. I didn't last long, Sharks.
No, I know. But I mean,
I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah, I think it's a 7. It's fair. And sessionability, I'd probably give it a 2.
I think you could do more than 2 pints of that.
I won't be able to live the next day.
3. I'm looking forward to the day going, I didn't make it to work because I had too many of these.
I had 2 of these. No, I give it a 3. I give it a 3 out of 10 for sessionability.
I give it a 2.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have it in pints, would you? You'd probably have it in 2/3 schooners. And
yeah,
I think you could
of course you would.
I think you could do 4 or 5 schooners.
I reckon you're probably right. I would say definitely, I'm really glad that I did this because I know that, right, okay, I've got this choice of these 2 yeasts. What can I achieve with this one versus what can I achieve with this one? And this is a yeast that I've made, lots of hazy pales before. This one's new to me, and I think this one you get a really, really nice smoothness from it.
Yeah.
And I think that mash hopping and using this yeast has unlocked some really joyous things in the beer.
It's definitely brought out more of or unlocked some flavours.
And especially the aromas, the tropical aromas that are coming out of this one are
that's
really,
a lot
really
coming
cool.
from Idaho 7.
Possibly, I don't know. But apparently it's all from because what you want to do is you want to have these thiols that are freely available for it to work on.
Yeah.
And you get them by using a mash. I use the mash hop edition with Cascade to do it.
You think it's all from the Cascade?
I think it is, yeah. Oh. I mean, I'm no scientist. I'm no expert on it, but yeah, I think that was what it was from.
Okay, fair enough. There we go. So, well, I think it's been a successful experiment then.
I think so too, yeah. And both of these beers are good, but this one's definitely better.
Yeah.
Definitely better.
Yeah, definitely £4 better, that's for sure.
Yeah.
For a yeast, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely more than 5% better, should I say, on overall cost then.
Yeah, I think that's really fair. And, someone's going to ask. They both came out at the same final gravity as well, so they both are the same strength beer. I mean, I'm surprised at how different they look. I always get shocked at when you've got 2 beers that are made with the same stuff. Well, how different they look with different yeasts.
But do you remember, can you make a wheat beer with a Quebec yeast?
Oh, and the one with Quebec was shit.
Yeah, it was crazy, wasn't it, how different it was? So.
I think that when we did that, Quebec yeasts were they were fairly new, weren't they?
Yeah,
I reckon and I know now that you can do really good wheat with Quebec, and I reckon we could...
How? By
using the right kind of Quebec.
Okay, well that's our next mission.
We'll see.
That's what I will do. Part 2, can you make a Hefeweizen with a Quebec yeast?
So in conclusion in this video, WHC Hop Unlock is a really good yeast.
Yeah.
I would definitely use it again, and I would definitely do it in mash hopping. And if I was going to mash hop, I would use that rather than the Verdant IPA yeast.
100%.
And also, the oyster score for this beer is there.
Here.
Oh, he's beaten to it. Is there. So
You've had it too easy.
I know, yeah. So the oyster score for that beer is there. Smash like, hit subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, oysters out.
Oysters out.